Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in JustFlight's Piper Arrow 3. We have a 74 nautical mile flight from Tango Echo Bravo Teterboro to Papa November Echo Northeast Philadelphia. In our recent flights from Teterboro, we've flown the Hudson River Exclusion, but this time we'll be staying west of Teterboro, flying underneath the Bravo, using VOR and DME navigation to keep ourselves legal. When we arrive at Northeast Philadelphia, we'll use a practice ILS approach for runway 24. Should be fun, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. I've decided the blue livery is the one with the GNS 530, so that's the one we'll use today. Alright, we'll run through the flight brief as we get started. So we're going to fly west and avoid the two Delta airspaces as well as the New York Bravo. So we're going to use Teterboro's VOR and fly heading 263 for 11 miles. We'll use the DME to determine when we hit that point. Then we'll intercept the Robbinsville VOR and fly the 208 heading to Robbinsville. Once we arrive at Robbinsville VOR, we'll turn heading 284 radial from Robbinsville and fly to our initial approach fix of Flitz. Again, we'll use the DME, so we'll know when we're 15 miles from Robbinsville that we've arrived at Flitz. We'll intercept the runway 24 localizer at that point. Then we will chase the needles on CDI-1 to stay on the localizer and glide slope down to the runway. The Piper's autopilot has no vertical controls, so we will need to watch the needle and hand fly it to manage our vertical navigation. Although we do have the Garmin GNS 530 installed in this aircraft, we're not really using it, it's just a backup. So each of those waypoints that we're intercepting, we're not using the GPS to find them. We're using DME and VOR and intersections of VORs to fly this approach. Because we have two CDIs and the autopilot does have a switch that lets you choose which CDI you are coupling it to, you'll see me throughout the flight making adjustments because we've got three legs and two CDIs, so I will start with one, toggle to the other, change the first to the new heading, toggle to the new heading when we get there, and have the localizer set up on CDI-1. We do have the DME turned on our right, and that can be coupled to Nav1 or Nav2 radio as well. So between the DME and the two CDIs, we'll be able to find any intersection along a route. Teterboro ground, Piper 359 Golf Charlie with information Juliet, signature west for west departure, ready to taxi. Taxi and hold short, runway 19 via Papa Lima, November 359 Golf Charlie. Before calling ground, I called clearance delivery and picked up flight falling. We will need it at the very tail end because Flitz, the initial approach fix, is inside of the Trenton class Delta airspace. So we will need a transition for that airspace. I love this airport for general aviation flying. You can't beat it. Teterboro ground, Piper 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 19. Cross 19, taxi 2, run-up area at Alpha, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. Okay, we'll pull over here into the run-up area and do a quick run-up. Teterboro ground, Piper 9 Golf Charlie, continue. Taxi and hold short, runway 24, Piper 9 Golf Charlie.
We're going to be going to NetJets over there, signature.
Auxiliary boost PMP.
Run through the pre-takeoff checklist.
Fuel selector. Fullest.
Teterboro Tower, Piper 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 24. Cleared for departure, runway 24, Piper 359 Golf Charlie. Clearance delivery already gave me a heading to fly on departure, and they also instructed me to remain clear of the New York Bravo. So we will be doing that just by flying low. So we'll stay underneath the bottom shelf of the Bravo until we are clear of it. We've got live ATC for Teterboro from liveatc.net streaming in the background. .65 and rotate. Positive rate, gear up. We've got a notch of flaps. We will keep those down until we get to 300 feet. And then once we get to 400 feet, we'll do our initial turn. Okay, we'll do our initial turn, and we are going to intercept our initial heading from the Teterboro VOR, and then fly that heading until we get to 11 DME. Looks good, we are on track, so let's sit back and enjoy that Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery. Alright, that went pretty well. The only problem I had was that the autopilot had trouble intercepting the localizer, so I just turned it off and flew it manually, just eyeballing the needles on CDI-1 to keep them centered. I had photogrammetry for most of the trip, so this is a great route to try if you want a nice scenic VFR flight where you could practice your approaches and VOR navigation. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks a lot for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.